Okay, hello and welcome everyone. It's so nice to have you guys join us tonight. My name is Renee Roberts. For those of you that don't know me, I'm a functional nutrition coach, registered hypnotherapist, and founder of Nourish to Live RX. And tonight I am welcoming guest speaker Elisa, and I'm going to say a little bit about her in a minute. But before I start, logistics, feel free to say hi in the chat. Let us know where you're connecting from. If you have any questions, feel free to ask in the Q&A box or ask in the chat. We're going to hold them to the end, but we will keep an eye on them. And if you would like to jump on audio, you can actually raise your hand and we'll bring you on and ask any questions. So without further ado, let me introduce our guest tonight, Elisa Boogaerts. Elisa is going to show us the 3 most impactful ways to increase your confidence that can be applied to any area of your life. So Elisa is the founder of Inspiration by Elisa, and she's a certified health coach, life coach, specializing in confidence. So she works with professionals in their 30s and 40s who either don't know what they want or are secretly stuck or even miserable in an area of life that doesn't work for them anymore. So her passion is to help people become more confident, let go of their fears, let go of perfection, think for themselves, and put themselves first so they can go after what they truly want in life. So welcome, Elisa. It's great having you here tonight.
Thank you so much, Renee.
All right. Well, yeah, let's get started. I'm going to hand the floor over to you and you can go ahead and get started. And again, thank you, Chris. Thanks for coming in from Oakville. We see some people coming in. Susan, Tina, welcome. Okay, go ahead. The floor is yours.
Thank you. So I'm sitting in the living room of my friend's apartment. It's her birthday party and she'd just gotten back from a backpacking trip in Asia. She brings out her photo album and my heart sinks a little bit. I was excited to see the pictures and hear all about her trip, but I was like a little bit jealous. Going backpacking was something that I had wanted to do for years and never had. And this was like her second backpacking trip and I hadn't even gone once. Another friend of mine had promised me that we would go together, but she's been promising me that for 5 years. So I wasn't sure that that was ever going to happen. And there's no way that I could go anyway. At the time I had too much responsibility. I had a full-time job. I had a mortgage. I just bought a brand new car. I mean, life was good. I was doing really well in my career so far. I'm not sure that I'd entirely call it a career. It was actually really just a job. I liked it. And people joked around being like, Elisa, what job are you going to go for next? CEO? Because I was like so young and doing well. I'm sure I was good at my job, but I wasn't sure about the whole CEO thing. Like many of you, my job was just a paycheck. And like many of you, making my family proud was something that I strive for, especially being the youngest. And I finally felt that I got their respect by being the youngest to get a brand new apartment that was just built, which is why I had that mortgage. And it was downtown too. It was stumbling distance from the clubs. It was perfect. How could I leave my new place? What would I do with that mortgage? The truth is that I wasn't happy. Like many of you, I was doing the daily grind, same thing, day in, day out. And like many of you, I felt a bit down and bored, but I also felt guilty about feeling this way because what did I have to complain about? And like many of you, I wanted change, but I had no idea where to start. And like many of you, I was ticking all the boxes of life, but I wasn't sure if my life was actually filled with the things that I wanted. I knew I wanted to go traveling and explore the world, that was for sure. And like many of you, I thought, is this it? What about things that I want to do? And I wasn't sure that I had the confidence to change my entire life and do something like traveling. Could I actually do that? You know, I knew that my mom would kill me if I took off and went traveling. She would be so worried. But was I going to let that stop me? So after oohing and awing at all the amazing travel pictures, another friend at the party said that she was going backpacking the next year. And I felt this excitement growing in my belly. And I started to ask her about her trip. And it sounded amazing. She was going to Australia, New Zealand, and Fiji. How cool would that be? So I built up the courage to ask her if I could join her. And she casually was like, yeah, sure. Let's talk about it over coffee next week. I was so inspired by her. And that night I went home and I finally gave myself permission to go after what I wanted and to travel. The next week at coffee, I made a commitment to my friend to go with her. She had already booked her flights. So that night I went home and I booked my flights. I just ripped the Band-Aid off, and hitting that pay now button, for those flights, it gave me this huge surge of joy. The feeling was incredible. And I made a vow to myself then that I wasn't like to remember that feeling anytime that anyone or anything was going to get in my way of going. So I made a 7-month plan and I packed up my life and I went. What was supposed to be a 4-month trip backpacking in those 3 countries, it turned into me living abroad for 11 years, and I traveled 51 countries in that 11 years.
That's awesome.
I'm Elisa. Thank you. I'm Elisa Boogaerts, and I believe that confidence is the essence to living a happy life. Let me share my screen. I'll bring up my slides.
Awesome.
Let's put this in presenter mode. Perfect. So I want to talk to you today about the 3 most impactful things. Sorry, you guys can play over there. About the 3 most impactful ways to increase confidence, to increase your self-confidence, so you can start creating the life that you want. So, and this can be applied to any area in your life, like Renee had said. I really want you to be able to go after it with confidence. And towards the end, I'll share more about how we can go deeper into this work. So the first way to increase confidence is to turn judgments into positive affirmations. But first, I want you to realize that you are perfectly imperfect. We are all perfectly imperfect. We often get stressed out and worried about what other people will think of us. We get stressed out if we don't get something right or don't do something good enough. We think that if we get it perfect, no one will criticize us. And the thing is that someone is always going to judge you or criticize you somewhere at some point. And it's likely that you will judge yourself even harder, and that can be even more painful. So when judgments come up, or you're resisting an imperfection, or you're about to give up because you're worried about what someone might say to you, try to catch it in the moment and really acknowledge it and see it. You know, these feelings, they're real right now. So feel them and get curious about these feelings and these thoughts, and ask if these judgments are really true and how you can flip it into something more positive, more compassionate, and more loving. And this is done by creating an affirmation for it. So next time it comes up, you can stop it in its tracks and switch to this positive affirmation. So for example, you could be saying to yourself, I'm too stupid for this. I can't get it right. I won't bother. Some affirmations for this could be, I'm learning as I go. I have everything I need to succeed. I'm a strong, intelligent, capable woman. Another example, I'm so behind, it's too late to catch up. I'm exactly where I need to be. I'll never have what I want. I have the power to create this. I'm a failure because I'm behind in my career and I should be farther along. Everything is falling into place just at the right time. I really want that promotion, and I know I need to talk to my boss about it, but I'm a little too scared and nervous. I'll just wait until he says something to me. And this could be switched to, I use my voice to express my needs and wants clearly. How about this one? Oh man, I messed up all the decorations for the party. What is everyone going to think when they see them? And this can be flipped to, don't let the little things upset you. It takes away from your happiness. I am perfectly imperfect and doing the best that I can. My worries are gently floating away. Knowing that you are perfectly imperfect and how to turn judgments into positive affirmations will increase your confidence and your mental health. I can't tell you how life-changing this is. Think of all the negative chatter in our heads, right? All the judgments that we've been saying to ourselves for years or maybe even our lifetime. Being able to acknowledge them and to see them and feel them and let them know that you have a new way of speaking to yourself that is more positive and loving. How amazing would that feel? A bonus tip is that you need to practice this every day. Only then will you see a difference. Because when you think about how often we say negative things in our brain, we need to be saying these positive things just as much. And the second way to increase confidence is to create new boundaries. Boundaries are the act of being able to succinctly and efficiently communicate who you are, what you stand for, and what you won't stand for. It's a way of staying like in the bounds of what you want and not being pulled outside of that. Sometimes other people that watch you venture into a healthier lifestyle or seeing you making progress in your life or becoming more confident and happier, they may make negative comments about it. This is not okay. And it's the perfect opportunity to communicate a boundary. You may notice that some people who are close to you can feel threatened when you embark on this kind of journey, and they may tempt you with whatever they can so that you won't do what you want. Sometimes you may feel guilty that they feel threatened, and you'll sabotage your own goals or new lifestyle in order to be accepted by this person or these people. And I want you to remember that it's not your fault that they feel bad. It's actually very healthy to uphold your boundaries and allow others to have their experience with that. It's not your fault they feel bad, and it's not your responsibility for their experience. Others who may not have the courage to take such a bold step in their life, they may unconsciously hope that you fail. Your success may be uncomfortably challenging for them. So when you take a step forward to valuing yourself more, often your relationships are forced to shift a bit. And this is where you need to stay focused on your goals and set healthy boundaries for anyone who may challenge them. So what you want to do is let people in your life know that this change you're embarking on is really important to you and why. This will likely need to be repeated several times, but if you can do it in a kind, assertive, and respectful way, they will eventually come around. So if they try to make you feel bad or guilty about all that you're doing or not spending time with them, you can use this communication tool. It goes like this. You acknowledge that you hear them and what they might want, and then you explain how you feel and what you want. So here's an example. I know that going out for a drink after work tonight would be really fun. I have an early morning meeting that's really important to me, so I'm going to stay home tonight. I'm going to have a night in. Or I know that going out to our favorite burger place tonight would be awesome. I'm feeling concerned that if I don't continue eating healthy, I won't achieve my weight loss goals. Now, if they try to convince you further or start to guilt trip you, you can use this tool again and again, even in the same conversation. You acknowledge that you hear them and what they might want, and then you explain how you feel and what you want. And you can also offer an alternative that's like aligned with your goals and with your values. So it might sound something like this. If they were to come back at you, make you feel guilty, they could say, "Oh, come on, Elisa, you're really on a diet. You can't tell me that you don't want a burger. And Sally's going to be there too, and you love hanging out with her." And so you could respond by saying, "I know, and it sounds really fun. Their burgers are the best. And I would love to see Sally too. Why don't we meet for a coffee and go on a walk tomorrow instead?" Holding your grounds, sticking to your boundaries. Using this communication tool to set healthy boundaries will keep you on track with your goals. And the more that you stick to your goals and don't let anyone sway you off track, you'll feel so good about yourself. You'll feel more confident and you will be unstoppable. Setting boundaries and knowing how to communicate them is an incredible life tool. And you can use this with every and anything, big or small. Practices, 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 and let it become part of your normal language. The third and final way I'll share with you today, but don't worry, I'll let you know how we can learn more about confidence towards the end of this masterclass. The third way to increase your confidence is through the power of visualization. So let me explain. First, we have our habits, which are habituated choices or routines that we make on a daily basis that determine our quality of life. So therefore, manifesting goals is based on habits. The actions we take on a daily basis determine who we are and our feeling of self-confidence. Now, pleasure is what drives these habit loops because our habits are built on what feels most pleasurable to us. We always choose what is most pleasurable to us. If it feels better to wake up at 5 a.m. and go for a run, then you'll do that. If it feels best to press snooze on the alarm clock, then you'll do that. If you have to be somewhere by a certain time, but you don't like being late, then eventually it'll feel more pleasurable to wake up than to press snooze. Since pleasure drives our habit loops, if we change what pleasure is linked to in our brain, we can exponentially increase our motivation for follow-through and build healthy habits that stick. And this is like one of the secrets to increasing confidence. What you want to do is match these natural pleasure chemicals in their brain, like our endorphins, with the activity that will get you the results that you want. How do we do that? Through visualization. Through visualization is a technique used by champion athletes. It's also called a mental rehearsal. They imagine the game or race or whatever it is that they're doing from their perspective as though they're actually competing. It's like a mental trial run. They visualize their performance and they break it down into tiny components and they work on every aspect of it. Now, I know that some clients, they like roll their eyes at me and told me that I've lost them when I start talking about visualization. But really, it's just a way to focus on the outcome you're trying to achieve. Through visualization, you can make your outcome become more and more possible to achieve. And research shows that physical progress can be made with a simple visualization. So how is that? It helps you practice overcoming habituated resistance. It links pleasure with healthy behaviors in the brain. And it motivates you to follow through in a way you haven't been able to consistently in the past. And so I'd love to do a visualization with you now. It's about 8 minutes, so get comfortable. If you want to lean back in your chair, if you prefer to lay down or stand, whatever you feel like. And as you get comfortable, I want you to think about something that you want or a current goal that you have. If you get comfy, and then if you feel comfortable, you can close your eyes. Where'd my Zoom thing go? Down here. I'm also gonna stop my video, so I'm also not a distraction. So yeah, if you feel comfortable, close your eyes. You can look down if you don't want to close your eyes to avoid any visual distractions. And step into that version of you that's 100% committed to achieving a current goal you have or something that you want. Make a picture, if you will, of a future you in the coming weeks or months. Do you see them? Step into this future you. This is a future you that's 100% committed to making choices in small, manageable steps that will lead you to feeling happier, feeling better, and have more confidence. Slip yourself right into their body. They're already having the result you want right now and enjoying it. Take a moment and just be this future you. Look through their eyes, hear through their ears, feel with their feelings and intuition. It's a beautiful day. Continue to breathe mindfully, and as you do, breathe with your lungs and feel your heart beating as theirs. As you inhale and exhale now, notice how everything is going well for you. Notice how it feels to be taking such good care of yourself and honoring your imperfections. Your thoughts are filled with positive affirmation, and life looks brighter and more beautiful. You are setting healthy boundaries for you and others in your life, and you feel lighter and more freedom as a result. As you inhale and exhale more deeply now, you might feel yourself more calm, secure, expansive, and energized. Allow yourself to feel your clarity, wonder, and awe. Because you have what you want, and it is amazing to have all the things you want, isn't it? It's possible that what you want might feel exquisitely good and progressively better. With each inhale and exhale, you might become aware of how glad you are to have all that you want, living with confidence. Some people might begin to notice that their mind craves pleasure and happiness, and there is great wealth of untapped personal power in a life of confidence. Relax into claiming your power, consciously choosing to resonate at a higher vibration or frequency, which enables you to attract more of what you want in your life. And how beautiful that as you do this, you inspire others to do the same, because they are witnessing you being your true, authentic self. In this place, you are more present to yourself and to others, expressing your truth, calm, and simply filled with life. Let yourself savor the freedom to breathe with grace and ease. Notice that all your cells are filled with fresh energy, and the world appears more beautiful. You can see yourself more alive and engaged on all levels. And as these feelings grow, your lips naturally stretch into a smile. Take a look around you. Where are you? And what do you see? Who are you with? Notice the sounds. Are people talking to you? Notice what they are saying. You might notice how easy it is to clear out all of the emotional clutter, all of the negativity and resistance, and you are choosing to relax into the best version of yourself. This self is not just a thriving head on top of a body. Your head and heart, your thoughts and feelings are all in alignment with one another. Feel how incredibly blessed you are to have this beautiful mind and body that serves you so well, because you get to feel. Notice the thoughts you are thinking. What is this future you saying about yourself? Like a dial on a stereo, we're going to turn up the volume on your senses. Scan your senses. What you see, hear, feel, smell, and taste. Allow yourself to really feel into your body's experience. Perhaps you are attuned to the pleasure of feeling so engaged, of feeling lighter, and you smile to yourself because you taste your confidence from within. It's also possible you realize that you are the only you that will ever be born. Why not be the best version of you that you can be? Because only you can offer the gifts to the world that are uniquely yours. See yourself, allow yourself to claim this power, your power. And as you consciously choose to make life-giving choices for yourself around career, health, finances, or people, thoughts, and purpose, you get in a groove where you are truly unstoppable. You feel more radiant and alive. You tell yourself, yes, I feel fabulous. I'm ready for anything. And allow that beautiful energy, like a golden ball of light, to penetrate every cell in your body, organically fashioning you into the truth of who you are, have always been, and will always be. Take a few deep breaths, integrating this feeling of aliveness, oxygenating all of your cells with fresh energy. Ponder this question. What would this future version tell you here today about going after what you want? Beautiful. And go ahead and bring that knowing back to you here and now. And come back into the room and open your eyes. Maybe wiggle your butt, fingers and your toes. And I'd like to open it up and see if anyone has any reflections that they'd like to share with the exercise. Or I'd love to know what you noticed or how you felt. Or did you see how sort of powerful this can be?
Anybody have any thoughts? Anybody want to share anything? I can certainly share, but I figured I'll let others share too. I love the mental rehearsal. I actually just did it with a hypnotherapy client on Monday. And we use, obviously with hypnotherapy, we use visualization as the main tool, but adding the mental rehearsal in it as well, and giving even a suggestion when you're done, like an anchor as well. So you can reflect on that and come back to that moment whenever you see the anchor or use the anchor, whatever that is. It's a really powerful tool to actually get yourself motivated or whatever into that future state. And it's fascinating. It's fascinating what our minds can do.
Yeah, absolutely. And it becomes like more real.
Yeah.
It's achievable.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Nobody's sharing, but that's okay.
That's all right. Well, thank you for your reflections.
Yeah. I thought it was really good. Like, I think I love where you said also in the beginning, and number one under positive information's just sometimes remembering, I know, what was it that you said? It was something like, I'm exactly where I need to be. It's a good reminder as well. It's like, when you get yourself in a certain situation, you just need to reflect and say, this is where I'm meant to be. It's where I'm supposed to be.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's perfect as it is.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, Susan actually shared.
Okay.
I feel I've been very successful in my life, but now that I am retired, I don't know where I need to be. Yeah.
Yeah. So the not knowing of what you might want to, where you might want to go.
Yeah. And purpose is very important too, like having a purpose. It's one of the pillars that I work with every day. Purpose, social and purpose. So I get
Yeah,
that.
I get that too. Yeah. Yeah. In a moment, I'll share a story about also my one point in my life where I had no idea what I wanted. Totally stumped by the question.
Yeah, I find that the universe has our back. The universe, God, whatever spiritual being you follow, right? It really does.
Yeah.
Okay, Susan said, yes, purpose is important. And thank you for teaching me some questions to ask myself.
Oh, you're very welcome. Yeah. So as a recap today, we went through learning how to turn judgments into positive affirmations, how to create boundaries. Actually, I've got a slide of this. Yes. How to create boundaries with a communication tool. And we discovered the power of visualization. And doing these three things will increase your self-confidence so you can go after what you want in life. And if you want to learn any more about these ways to increase your confidence, I created a free 4-day video series called The 4 C's of Confidence. And the 4 C's are commitment, courage, cultivate, and continuum. And each day you'll receive an email from Inspiration by Elisa with a link of a short YouTube video where you'll learn about each of the 4 C's. And the email will also contain an affirmation for the C of that day and some journal prompts to integrate all that you're learning. And that first C with commitment is about what do you want and goal setting and journaling on that. Yeah, so it might be perfect with what we were just talking about. And at the end of the series, your confidence will be boosted and you'll have more tools. You can go after what you want in any area of your life. And I'd love to share this with you. So I'll pop the link in the chat.
I just popped it in for you.
Oh, you did?
Well,
oh, thank you so
yes.
much. You can also scan the QR code that I'm sharing here on screen.
Which is brilliant. I'm going to steal that. I never thought about doing that.
Yeah, I can just like, boop, right there.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and sign up for free. My passion is to help people become more confident in themselves so they can go after what they truly want. I know that when you commit to your own transformation and you build the courage in your own being and you cultivate new skills and then allow that continuum to flow, you'll be able to achieve anything that you want. And this will lead to more happiness. And it's something that I believe that we're all searching for. I mean, that's what I was searching for when I moved to London, England. Remember, like earlier in my talk, I talked about that crazy travel bug I had. Well, 5 years into my hiatus and after my second backpacking trip, I moved to London. I was traveling with my boyfriend at the time, but we really should have broken up before we even left. And that was the first thing that we did when we landed in London. You know, I took the courageous step to change my life by moving to London because I wasn't happy where I was, only to find myself when I first moved there to be homeless, jobless, locally friendless. I was broke and I was heartbroken. And this was the first time that I felt the weight of depression. My confidence was so low in myself. I was able to find a home though, which gave me some hope that things might work out with this move. It was a bit of a rough start. And I was lying on my uncomfortable love seat couch in this furnished apartment, all scrunched up, staring at the TV one evening. And I was watching the show Ugly Betty, and it wasn't even funny anymore. My phone buzzes, and I like slowly reach over and grab it. And it was a text from a woman I had met traveling in Nepal, and she had moved to London a few months after me, and she wanted to meet up for a drink. But I was like, ugh. That would mean I'd have to get up and shower and leave the house. I was grateful to have a friend though, because I hadn't met many of those yet. And she sent me another text with a suggestion for a tea shop in Camden. I must have stared at that phone in that text for 10 minutes. I really didn't want to leave the couch. Buzz, buzz, the phone goes again. She knew I wasn't doing anything because I wasn't working and I had no excuse. So fine, I'll go. I dragged myself off the couch and I showered when I went to meet her. It was November here in Vancouver, or no, it was in London, sorry. It was November, so it was dark and cold outside. She greeted me with a really warm hug. And the cheese shop, it was so cute. It had like armchairs and little side tables, and it was decorated with teapots and cups and saucers, you know, like the beautiful bone china ones that have like the flowers on them. And I ordered a mint tea, and it smelled divine, and it felt so warm in my cold hands. And as we chatted over tea, she asked me what I wanted out of my life in London. And having just gotten out of an emotionally abusive relationship, I hadn't been asked that question in years. What did I want? Like, I was completely stumped. I wasn't even sure who I was anymore. I knew I didn't want to feel stuck or miserable anymore. That was for sure. And as I gulped back my tears with my tea, she suggested that I spend some time meditating on it. This question is what lifted me out of the low state that I was in. It gave me freedom to think for myself. I started to really evaluate my life, you know, like every part of it, but also like, what did I want? Who did I want to be? How did I want to show up in this world? And I went on a 2-year journey to figure it out. And I rebuilt my life from the ground up. I started to go after what I wanted. I set goals for myself. I used meditation to become more mindful. I took a course that introduced me to affirmations, which I love now and use them all the time. I did a course that helped me identify what I wanted out of my career. I read personal development and books, you name it. And I learned a lot of things, but I learned it the hard way. You know, I didn't get a coach or a mentor, and I just kind of stumbled through it all on my own. And it took a long time. It took a long time to learn to love myself and to speak my truth, which was terrifying because I didn't have the proper communication skills. I know that I definitely rubbed people the wrong way when I tried to communicate my boundaries at first. I discovered what my values were, and I knew I had to start living up them so I could be the person that I wanted to be my authentic self, not the multitude of personas and roles that I've been playing my entire life. This took courage, and I wish I had a support system that I could have shared my struggles with. And I learned the hard way how to break through challenges, and there's so many ups and downs. And I did find my courage again, and I found my happiness. I found happiness, and I made my life the way that I wanted it. And this is what led me to be a confidence coach. Throughout the years, I've developed this huge toolkit of ways to increase self-confidence so that I could go after what I wanted and all my goals. And I created the confidence method so I could coach my clients on these skills and be there to help them go after what they want with confidence. And this only takes 3 months versus 2 years that I took. These most impactful ways I shared today, they're part of that toolkit. And the 4 C's of Confidence video series will help you get there. Even if you've tried all kinds of things or nothing's worked, these tools, they will increase your confidence. You can let go of things holding you back so you can start creating the life that you want. And I never want anybody to be stumped by that question. What do you want? Or be miserable in an area of life, or to even know what they want to do, but not have the confidence to go after it. So I've made it my mission to help people with that. And I'm so grateful to be able to share them with you today. So thank you so much.
Awesome.
I'd love to open the floor for any questions anyone might have.
Tina's asked, what if you have a goal, but it will take 4 years of schooling? At 60, not sure if I want to do that.
Well,
and she enjoyed the meditation also.
Okay,
I just want to say that. So.
Well, yeah, I think I'd really evaluate if it's something that you really want and figure out and use that figure out what the true motivation is for wanting that. And that can you can use that to motivate yourself and keep you going for those 4 years. I'm trying to remember, there's this quote that I learned. I posted on my Instagram recently. It was like, oh, I can't remember, something about starting, or like, if you say in 4 years time, you still want it, but then you didn't do it. And you're like, oh, I wish I had started 3 years ago when I thought about it. Or that time passes anyway, so might as well start now. I wish I could remember the quote, but yeah, if you really want it, do it.
Yeah, it's
Age doesn't matter.
it's tough. I had the same dilemma a couple of years ago when I pivoted out of one career into another. And yeah, you do kind of have to sit back. And I had the same conversation I was at a Christmas party, and it was given by a company that had career coaches. And I was an alumni. I already had the coaching, and then they just invite all their people back, all their former clients back to this big party. So I was talking to one of the guys who was a coach there, and he asked me the same question. He's like, well, what do you want? Because he could tell I wasn't happy. And I'm like, oh, that's a good question. And then, he's like, well, what are you passionate about? What do you want to do? And then we started talking, and that's out of that Christmas party conversation is how it pivoted me into what I'm doing today. And it's just funny how just some random conversation can get you into, can completely change your life, actually.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, it almost like plants that seed, and then you really start thinking about it. I'm like, yeah.
Yeah. So it can be powerful. And I think you need to be able to hear it too. I think that's the thing too. You need to be in the right frame of mind and to be able to hear what's being said.
Yeah, I think you have to be ready for it.
Yeah.
For sure. If you're not ready, then you'll find all kinds of reasons to sabotage yourself to not do it.
Exactly. I look back on some decisions, and there are things that I did like in an instant. I'm like, yes, I'm doing that, and didn't even hesitate. And then there were things that I hemmed and hawed over. I'm like, oh, do this, what I do. And then it's like, all right, let's sit down and think about this. Do I really want this?
Yeah. Do I really want it? Is it really what I want? Yeah. What's driving this? Yeah. Is it actually coming from me, or whose voice is in my head right now?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I think a lot of this advice, yes, it's very good for confidence, but it's just good for other things as well, right? Like you talked about confidence, but this is just decision making as well. And it's building your confidence, but it's so much more.
Yeah. And I feel like because if you can figure out what you want and you start to go after it, and you do these things and you use these tools, and you like speak positively self, and you set your boundaries, and and you see that vision, and you like always go after it and remember it, that'll you end up being who you are and doing what you want to do, which will be happier. And even just having that confidence to continue doing it, which will just set yourself up so well. Yeah.
Awesome. Are there any other questions? If not, we can let everyone get back to their evening.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah. Tina says thanks. And so thank you so much for coming, and thank you everybody for joining us tonight. It's always a pleasure to do this and see people and hopefully get some benefit out of this. So thank you.
Thank you.
All right. We will close it down, and you guys will get a replay. If you came in late, you will be able to see the beginning of it as well. So thank you so much. Have a great evening, and we'll chat soon. Thanks, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.